Welcome to Ocean Yemi's channel. I'm going to put out more information on the Peter Spencer murder. Now, even though most of the things I say you probably heard on repeat about a couple times, but the idea what happened to him in your mind because of how it was done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put his tribute, what they put up to him. Hi, sorry, I made it played a little long. But anyways, now I'm going to show you which one. One of these ones found about the information on him. Now, like I said, though most of it is repeated, is repetition, but the idea of it is to get a what putting hashtags for justice for Peter Spencer, because he really deserves to have justice, because he died in such it's a tragic way. I would say a slaughter. That was a slaughter, a hunting. They hunted him down. He was the prey. There's no other way to explain it more than that. Now I'm going to move to one of these ones here. Okay, so for those who don't know who Peter Spencer is, this one was what happened to Peter Spencer. Family claims Jamaican immigrant was lynched after he is shot dead on hunting trip. Peter Spencer, a 29-year-old Jamaican immigrant, was shot dead earlier this month. This is December. So in December he was shot after allegedly going on a hunting trip with 5 Caucasian individuals. His body was found by the police on December the 12th, 2021, in a cabin near Carl's Road. The victim reportedly suffered 9 gunshots to his chest, head, and the rest of his body. Authorities also discovered firearms at the scene. A 25-year-old man was taken into custody in relation to the incident, but no charges have been filed so far. The fuller report was made by WTAE TV Pittsburgh.
That's right. Tonight, there's a growing demand for Peter Spencer's homicide. According to state police, a 25-year-old man was taken into custody and multiple guns were found on scene, but as of now, no charges have been filed.
We can't help but wonder if there was some racial animus here and if this possibly could be a hate crime.
BPEP CEO Tim Stevens talked with us after demanding an immediate investigation and prosecution into the killing of 29-year-old Peter Spencer, a Jamaican immigrant and Pittsburgh resident.
I found this story beyond tragic. We decided that we needed to send a letter to some of the key powers that be in Pennsylvania.
State police say Spencer, who had a fiance and unborn child, was found shot on Carl's Road in Rockland Township in the early morning hours of December 12th.
Talking 6 bullets into the chest, 2 into the buttocks. In one, we have a different opinion, either through the mouth or from the neck and out of the mouth.
According to Stevens, Spencer's fiance dropped him off to go hunting in Venango County with a man he had visited in the past and several other white men.
This time, he was taken to the woods and not to this person's mother's home. To the fiance, she didn't feel totally comfortable with that.
Less than 24 hours later, when she went to pick up Spencer, he was dead. Stevens says the man who was taken into custody claimed self-defense,
which we think is a defenseless defense, an unexplainable defense.
So far, police have only released an initial report and did not include any details about the suspect or possible motive. But BPEP is calling for justice, saying the self-defense narrative is unacceptable, offensive, and beyond troubling.
This is serious, and people need to know they can't do this in Pennsylvania, or hopefully anywhere in the nation.
I reached out to the Venango County District Attorney about this case. He said it was an ongoing investigation and he had no comment at this time. Meanwhile, Spencer's family has set up 2 different GoFundMe pages, one for legal fees and the other for funeral expenses. We have that information up on our website.
So, other men who accompanied Peter on the trip reported that they acted in self-defense. Now they're saying, so they said they acted in self-defense. Meanwhile, the victim's family claimed the incident was an example of modern-day lynching. Now, on December the 11th, oh yeah, I think they're repeating themselves here.
That's right. Tonight, there's a growing demand for answers in Peter Spencer's homicide. According to state police, a 25-year-old man was taken into custody and multiple guns were found on scene. But as of now, no charges have been filed.
We can't help but wonder if there was some racial animus here, and if this possibly could be a hate crime.
BPEP CEO Tim Stevens talked with us after demanding an immediate.
Okay, so I see something else. Hold on.
Let's go to Pennsylvania, folks, where there's...
Okay, I'm going to go to the YouTube world now. Hold up. Let me just go over there.
It's a strange story. A Jamaican family desperately seeks answers after their relative was shot several times during a hunting trip with co-workers. Peter Bernardo Spencer was reportedly shot at least 9 times in December. Spencer was by his fiancée for a hunting trip with a colleague who reached out to him on Snapchat. A few hours later, the 29-year-old was dead. A 25-year-old man was taken into custody. 3 other individuals and multiple guns were found, but no charges have been filed. William Anderson is chair of the Allegheny Democratic Black Caucus. He joins us right now. William, I'm trying to understand. He ends up dead and nothing?
Nothing. And thank you, Roland, for having me on to shed light on this situation. You know, it's very tragic. And, you know, as you said in your former comments that, you know, this is just what happens to Blacks in America. So on December 11th, Peter, he wasn't going hunting. He was going to the woods to hang out with some friends at, usually he assumed he was going to Nathan Meyer's mother's house. So his fiance usually dropped him off at Nathan Meyer's mother's house on several occasions, usually with friends. But on this occasion, she drops him off at it was either a cabin or a mobile home in the woods of Venango County. And this was very strange to her because, it was such a desolate area that she couldn't even ping Peter's location once she dropped him off.
So is there an investigation? And who's leading the investigation?
So allegedly, the Venango County District Attorney, his name is D. Sean White. He's in charge of the investigation and has been leading the investigation since December 12th, when Peter Spencer was murdered. And also, the PA State Troopers Heritage Affairs Department, which investigates hate crimes, is also involved in the investigation. But we haven't gotten any information on what they're doing, and it's been since December 12th, and there has been no arrest, no one has been charged or anything.
Are state officials involved in this? I mean, are folks being interviewed? I mean, brother just goes out and ends up shot 9 times and dead. Has there been a ruling from the medical examiner? Have they ruled his death a homicide? Obviously.
Yes, sir. The medical examiner of Venango County ruled Peter Spencer's death a homicide almost, I think, immediately. So we, as Venango County is a small county, it's a Republican-controlled rural county in Pennsylvania, where all of the people, a lot of the insurrectionists from January 6th, this is their breeding ground. Western Pennsylvania is the breeding ground for all of these people. So we haven't gotten any cooperation, although it has been not only, declared a homicide, but they had suspects in custody that admitted to shooting him, and they were released.
Whoa. The suspects admitted to shooting him?
Yes. They said there was some type of altercation, and they shot Peter in self-defense 9 times, which in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you cannot declare self-defense. 1, if you can flee the danger, and 2, you cannot declare self-defense when you shoot someone 9 times. This young man was shot twice in his butt, 5 times in his back, once in his neck that went through his neck and broke his jaw, and once in his chest close range. And no charges have been filed against anyone since December 12th. This is outrageous.
Were all 9 shots from the same gun?
That we haven't gotten any information to be able to come to that conclusion because they aren't cooperating. They aren't giving the investigators, the attorneys, any information. They aren't giving the family any information, and they have yet to respond to our requests as the Democratic Black Caucus and the Black Political Empowerment Project for information. And the only help that we've gotten was from Chandy Chapman, a local reporter here, an African-American female on our WTA local station, was the only one to even investigate this and to help shine light on this. So we just thank you for giving us national attention so we can get justice for Peter. Has
the family had an independent autopsy done? Yes, sir.
And we not only have we had an independent autopsy done, but the autopsy was done by Dr. Cyril Wecht. And Dr. Cyril Wecht is one of the most famous coroners in the entire world. So he completed autopsy on January 3rd. And Dr. Wecht, in an interview on our WTAE with Chandy Chapman, told her that he'd never seen an incident like this in his entire career, when someone has been shot 9 times and shot in the back and no charges have been filed.
This is absolutely crazy. Certainly keep us abreast, William, of what happens. Stay in contact with us. We certainly want to follow this story, but you don't get shot 9 times. And again, like, what was his fingerprints on any of the weapons? How many guns were recovered? First of all, how many people were on the scene? That's just absolutely crazy.
Yes, sir. We know that there were at least 4 white men that were there on the scene.
4 white men on the scene with guns. There's an altercation, yes, and only one person ends up dead and nobody else shot.
Exactly.
And
As far as we
they're
know,
walking around free.
yes, sir. They weren't. I don't believe they were in custody longer than an hour. You know, this young man is dead. His family has gone through the holidays and have to restart their life. And I just want to reiterate that this young man was not an American citizen. He had only been in the country since 2013, seeking the American dream.
Has the Jamaican embassy demanded? Obviously he's a Jamaican national. Have they demanded the federal authorities get involved?
Yes. So we had a Zoom meeting with 20 members of the Jamaican government yesterday from all over the country, and they are outraged in this. And the Prime Minister will be making a public statement demanding that America be held accountable for this, because America owes Jamaica a life. Right? This young man was 29 years old. His future was. He came to this country, seeking the Purple Mountain's majesty. Amber waves of grain. All these things that our anthem, promises the world. And he came here, and his life. He's been here for 8 years, and his life is over.
Who has the family hired to be their attorney?
I don't know the attorney's name offhand, but I can get that to you. And they're going to get a team. They're going to have a team of attorneys to represent him, because no one attorney is going to be able to handle this. Because, like I said, this is pre-Jim Crow.
Got it.
Hey, it's Alicia, and I'm headed in.
Well, I got as much information as I got before that. I think it's an advert, but I can't see on the other side. But there is a surveillance from that day to. There is a surveillance, so I'm going to go over and we're going to look at what they found so far of the information from the surveillance from the remote hunting cabin.
Investigation that's captured international attention and prompted protests and outrage from black leaders in Pittsburgh concerned it may have been racially motivated killing.
Well, tonight, for the very first time, Action News Investigates will take you to the place where Jamaican immigrant Peter Spencer was shot times until he stopped breathing. But this story wasn't easy. Investigative reporter Paul Van Osdal had to check property assessment records in order to even find the remote cabin just along I-80 along the Allegheny River Trail where Spencer was gunned down in the presence of 4 white men.
It is a case that still has not resulted in even one arrest, now 6 weeks after it happened. Here's Paul's report from Venango County.
Setting right on the Allegheny River and just off of a bike trail is the hunting camp. Police say Spencer was shot to death. Authorities say his body found in the front yard with multiple gunshot wounds. Family members say Peter Spencer was invited by a friend who he met at a previous job. A Spencer family attorney says he's not surprised that Peter accepted an invitation, even though family member was the only black man at the camp.
He was an outdoorsman, and he loved being in nature. He loved being among the animals in nature. So this is something that he would regularly do. It's exactly why he would have been out there.
But his trip became anything but a peaceful retreat. Police say they found multiple guns and drugs at the scene. Police detained and questioned 4 people, including a 25-year-old white man they called a suspect. But all 4 were released from custody. No charges have been filed. Action News Investigates has learned there could be video.
Why would you release a suspect that is just shot a person? Well, 4 suspects, but they got released. That does not make no sense whatsoever. But the reason why I'm playing all these vids is so that so it's like a constellation of stuff, evidence, videos together, because then we can hear what's going on. Because when you look through the information on the internet, it doesn't give a lot of information. It gives away bits and pieces and it repeats itself. So this will now broaden what happened. On top of that, I think there is a video where you actually do see the men who actually killed him as well. Okay. And the family is demanding that they have justice for their son, basically, or brother.
Of his shooting. A sign on the front door says, "You're on camera, look up," referring to a surveillance camera in the second floor window. Now, it's possible that any video from that camera could be very useful to police, especially considering the fact that Spencer's body was found shot to death in the front yard.
So there is actually a camera.
Action News Investigates showed family attorney Paul Jubas images of the camera and sign. If there's video, could it show the actual homicide?
You know, it could potentially show everything. This just adds a layer of mystery on this, that, you know, law enforcement is handling this investigation in such a shadowy way.
The district attorney would not say if there is any video of the shooting. Also mysterious, this sign on the door of an adjacent garage saying, "We don't call 911," alongside an image of a gun. If no one called 911 immediately after this shooting, could there be criminal liability there?
There absolutely. You know, this crime scene is dripping with criminal liability.
Again, though, police have not filed any criminal charges in the case. Property records show the hunting camp is owned by the family of Nathan Meyer. Spencer's family says Meyer is the friend who invited Peter Spencer to the camp. Action News Investigates went to Meyer's family home in Mercer and spoke briefly with his grandmother. She declined to do an interview, but said she would give our contact information to Nathan. He never responded. The district attorney here in Venango County tells me he cannot release any further information about the case until he has final autopsy results, and that could take several weeks. Reporting from outside Emlenton in Venango County, Paul Van Osdol, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Okay, now there is a video which shows the four suspects. So I am going to put it up.
We are live.
What is it? The four suspects.
And I was kind of missing going to live sporting events.
No, it's not.
The sleep of death, and my enemy will say, "I have prevailed." My foes.
They did a conference on a press conference as well. The family, which was not spoken about on the newspaper, on the articles, but there are whole conferences. I don't even know whether I should put it up. I'm trying to see if there's any more information so I can put let's see. Okay, this was 7 days ago.
How often do you exercise your biggest sexual
a co-worker in a rural western Pennsylvania county.
Spencer's fiance says she dropped him off, and that was the last time she saw him alive. The person who admitted to shooting Spencer says it was self-defense. But Spencer's family doesn't believe that claim, and a well-known medical examiner hired by the family says it appears Spencer was hunted down and killed. PNC's Dre Clark has more on the investigation.
29-year-old Peter Spencer was looking forward to being a husband and a new dad, but December 12th, he was shot and killed. Spencer's fiancée dropped him off to go hunting with a former co-worker and 3 other people in a small rural western Pennsylvania town. Spencer was the only black person in the group. When Spencer stopped responding to his fiancée's text messages, she made the near 2-hour drive from Pittsburgh back to where she dropped him off, only to learn he was dead.
When she pulled up to the scene in Venango County, she saw state trooper vehicles and yellow tape around the body laying in the front yard of this location.
According to a Pennsylvania State Police report, Spencer was found deceased in the front yard of the residence due to apparent gunshot wounds to his body. The report also noting a 25-year-old white male and 3 other individuals were detained, questioned, and later released after consultation with the Venango County District Attorney's Office pending additional investigation. Also recovered at the scene were multiple firearms, ballistics evidence, and controlled substances. 7 weeks later, no one has been charged, leaving Spencer's family anguished and very angry. William Anderson with the Black Political Empowerment Project in Pittsburgh has been helping the family.
No one has been arrested, and they're saying wait and see. We're not going to wait and see. We want immediate justice. We demand immediate justice.
Anderson wants the state's Attorney General's office to take over the investigation. In a letter to the AG, he wrote, Mr. Spencer's legacy cannot be simply that he was a Jamaican immigrant shot to death under undetermined circumstances. It must be that he was someone's son, brother, fiance, father-to-be, friend, a contributing member of society. Police have not released the names of the 4 people who were with Spencer, but according to family members, the alleged shooter told police he shot Spencer in self-defense.
Hell no. That is absurd.
The family has hired renowned forensics pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht. Wecht examined Spencer's body and says it appears Spencer was trying to get away based on where he was shot, including multiple times in his back. Dr. Wecht says it looks as if Spencer was hunted down and shot to death.
I think he was running away, and 1 or more people shot him as he was running. That is what would fit in because the shots looked like they were fired from a distance. We call that long distance, long range, beyond 24 inches.
Another concern for Wecht is how the investigation is being handled. He says for weeks he's been requesting a copy of the original autopsy report and pictures from the scene. And so far, he says, he's been ignored.
What this withholding is all about makes me highly suspicious, and I just wonder if there aren't some governmental agencies involved here.
A statement from the Venango County DA's office says in part, this office also takes seriously any possibility that a crime may be fueled by hatred toward a person because of their race, color, religion, or national origin. Rest assured, the Venango County District Attorney's Office will take every measure to ensure that justice is sought wherever it may be found.
He was lynched and he was assassinated in the woods by these white men that hunted him like prey.
It's what Spencer's family believes, and they're hoping investigators will see it the same way. In New York, I'm Dre Clark for BNC.
Booking.
Well, you see all that they didn't put in all the articles. The articles are missing bits and pieces and some parts to it. So this has been more of an informational thing on his death because this happens. This probably happens on a regular basis. I'm thinking in certain parts because I've seen a few videos of other stuff where people has been escaping being killed or whatever. So So he was very trusting. By the sound of it, he was very trusting and all that, and he went, you know, thinking that how it would just be a normal outing where he'll learn to catch, deer, rabbit, all that stuff. They said he was a nature man anyway, which is what I said previously in one video. He was a nature man anyway, it seems like, yeah. So the fact that how they did this and then said it was in self-defense, which is always the thing, which has always been said when a person of color is killed, is in self-defense, especially if it's a man, well, man or woman per se. Okay, so they spoke to these people and then they released them. So I'm hoping that the family can literally um get them back to court, get them to court, like the Albury situation where, like, he was somewhere and he was seen and then he got shot down, which is the same case with this guy. The only thing difference with this guy is that he was invited, right? So obviously when you're invited, it doesn't look as bad, but it's the same situation. So it's still like the Albury situation. Okay. So we know that these things happen, and in different parts of America, there's different gun laws, there's different things going on. People can say self-defense, whatever the case may be. So in this case, I think this man was innocently killed, right? Was innocently killed. He was innocently slayed. He was actually, he seemed like he knew a lot of people. He was very friendly. He came to America of prospects of making life for himself. It's pretty obvious what he was there for. He is not like, because people tend to think that black people are lazy, they don't want jobs, they don't want to do nothing. Now, so he obviously was a working man, right? So that's where it all goes a bit left. And to be honest, I am gonna put up the two GoFundMe's that the family put up as well. Okay. Now I'm gonna reiterate the information on this death again. Even if it said 4, 5, 6 times, 3 times, 4 times, we have to. All right, we're gonna take the Sun version. So in cold blood, who was Peter Spencer and how did he die? Jamaican immigrant Peter Spencer was fatally shot in mid-December in what his sister is calling a modern day lynching. Spencer was 29 years old when he was killed and leaves behind his fiancée and their unborn child. Who was Peter Spencer? Peter Spencer was a 29-year-old black man who migrated to the US from Jamaica with his family. His sister, Taliba Spencer, said on the GoFundMe page she set up that her brother had hoped to help their mother open a restaurant. She said that the decision stemmed from the family tradition in Jamaica when their mother cooked and sold fish and soup every Friday. How did Peter Spencer die? Peter Spencer was found dead on December the 12th after police was called to a cabin where he was staying in Venango County, Pennsylvania. Spencer's fiancée, Camilla King, said Spencer was invited to a weekend of hunting by a white male co-worker. King did not respond to the Sun's request for comment in time for this article. Obviously, she's not. The co-worker, whose name has not been released, so why has it not been released, invited 3 friends to join them, including 2 men, 1 woman. According to his sister, GoFundMe, Spencer was the only black person in the group. He was killed in what his sister called a hate crime. Oh, hi, Claire. Yes, it is. It is sad and disgusting as well. Yeah, it is. And yeah, they hunt humans. They've been doing it from before time in Europe and Belgium is Wrath. It's Wrath. It's Reef. With it, devil worship monster. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. So let me see if I can find a GoFundMe. Oh, let me find a GoFundMe. Oh, here's one of. Yeah, it's very, very, very disgusting. It's very disgusting. Um, and what's happening? They're not telling you everything on the articles. There's a lot on the videos, but not on the articles. So even if they copyright me for them videos, but I put them up so the ones who saw, the ones who didn't, because they might tell. I might have to cut them out. Right, this is the GoFundMe. Because there's two GoFundMe. So this is the Truth and Justice for Peter Spencer. So they explain it as well. So it's forensic. Dr. Civil Reg has completed a second autopsy on Peter Spencer's body when a local reporter asked if he's ever seen such a case in which charges have not been filed. Wench responded, certainly not. 9 wounds and certainly not one case in which there were wounds through the back. It doesn't take more than 5-minute internet search to discover how swiftly homicide or other charges are brought to defend the life of a white hunter and shootout of negligence. This was a vulnerable black man who was hunted down and murdered as if he was a prey, and the silence of details is deafening. So that's what they're saying on the GoFundMe, but there's another one. So let me go find the other one too, because they said there's 2. Right, this is one for his memorial as well, which I will put underneath the video. Even though they've had his funeral already. But this is for his memorial. This is from Taliba, his sister. Right, let's see what other stuff they put up on about this. I'm going to try to do a couple look through stuff. Actually, I should just put it up on the screen, my search, so we can search together. Let's search together. So we can see the information they're putting up, because they're not putting up all the information. See, some things come up with blank on this side because I'm in England. I think that's what it is. So we did how did he die and stuff like that. No, they haven't got nothing. Let's put it as lynched on here.
Jamaican immigrant. His mother says they came to the U.S. for a better life. Now she's mourning the end of his life, recalling the moment she learned of his fatal shooting.
I shouted out and I fell on my knees.
The December 12th incident happened at a Rockland Township residence during an overnight trip, including a former co-worker, according to the family lawyer. The lawyer says Spencer worked as a contractor and was dropped off at the gathering by Carmela King, his fiancée, carrying Spencer's unborn child. The fatal shooting happened around 2:30 a.m., according to police, who say Spencer was found dead in the front yard. One suspect and 3 individuals were detained and questioned, but released. An autopsy was completed on December 14th, and no arrests or charges have been made, according to police.
We know how many times he was hit. It was 9 times. There may be as many as 7 shots to the back.
Police have not confirmed how many times he was hit, but say multiple firearms, ballistic evidence, and controlled substances were seized from the scene.
I worked on JFK, RFK, MLK, O.J. Simpson. This remains among the most puzzling as to what in the hell took place.
The family hired their own medical expert, world-renowned Dr. Cyril Wett, to examine Spencer.
The delay is being caused by the DA and or the police. This is not acceptable.
What additional information do you need, given that you've already examined the body?
I need the original autopsy report, and I need the photographs taken of the body at the autopsy.
According to the family, the coroner has not released autopsy photos to their medical examiner.
Sharing autopsy photos with a medical examiner is not a controversial thing. They have made controversial decision after controversial decision, and it leaves us with no other option but to assume the worst,
leaving the family with more questions than answers.
I just want to know why. That's really all I want to find out at this point.
The Venango County coroner did not immediately respond for comment. The identities of the 4 individuals originally detained and questioned have not been released. The family alleges they were all white. In a statement, the DA said, in part, quote, "The office also takes seriously any possibility that a crime may be fueled by hatred toward a person because of their race." Aldis Spencer's family holds on to his memory.
He said, "I love you, Mom." He never left the phone, off his phone, without saying, "I love you. Come and give me a hug." He never just said Mom, he said Madre.
All right, we're hearing from the family there at the end of the story. Zincle, as you mentioned, the family is still waiting for more information. There's a lot of questions surrounding this case so far. What are they hoping happens with these potential lawsuits?
Yeah, Tom. So I asked the family if they plan to sue. Their lawyer did not go into specifics, but did say that they're at the initial stage of the investigation and a lawsuit is likely to come. Meanwhile, the police in a report urged the public to, quote, remain patient. The county DA even said the ongoing investigation could take 4 to 6 weeks prior to making a charging decision. So really, this is something we're going to have to track and see, Tom.
Yeah, so in the search, they have it down as Peter Spencer lynching. When you just put up his name, you get other stuff. You don't get straightforward. You probably get at the beginning stuff at the beginning of the search, but not at the it don't give the full. You have the video seems to give the full information of most of what is going on because there haven't been an update. Let me see if there's any updates on it since this time. Let me see. So on certain searches, there's no updates on. There's only been 2 weeks. I think the one I showed before that was 2 weeks ago. So I am thinking they're still doing it. I would have shown the press conference, but I don't know. Maybe I might show the press conference as well, actually.
My foes will rejoice because I.
If you're over 6.
The welfare of his brother Abel.
Hold on, let me show the press conference.
God said to him,
Because they show the bullets in his, what happened in his body.
Abel, this is calling out to me from the ground. We are here today because the blood of Peter Bernardo Spencer is calling out to us from the ground. We are here to surround this family and say to you that our voices will continue to stir and uncover and speak out until we learn what has happened to our brother. His blood keeps crying out to us. And because of that, we must respond. But you know, I'm not here by myself. All right. I'm here because of clergy, lay people who have committed to speaking up and responding to this moment of justice. I learned the other day that Brother Tracy Merritt shared with me that over 100 clergy and lay people from this community have been speaking up and saying to the Attorney General and the senators and the leadership of this state that this must be addressed. And we have to continue raising our voices in order to make justice a reality. Toni Morrison talked about the concept of other and how when we other people, we grow
in this country demanding justice for Peter Bernardo Spencer. And we will not stop until we get the justice that this family deserves.
I've been asked to introduce the mother. We've come to feel very close to her, the fiance, holding hands. Isilda Spencer Hunter, would you stand, please? The mother of Peter Bernardo Spencer. The fiance, Carmela King. We'll have a brief word of support.
Appreciate being here today and to know that the thoughts going out from the other ministers and officials to assist us in our endeavor to find justice for my son, Peter Bernardo Spencer. And I'm really grateful from the bottom of my heart, and I'm giving God thanks today for his mercy and his strength, keeping us moving on each day. It's not easy, but we are holding on. God bless you, minister.
I just want to say thank you for everybody, the support, coverage. I thank God first because He has blessed us. I'm fortunate that He has blessed us with this opportunity, and I pray that you guys will continue to push this so we can get justice for Peter because he deserves it. Thank you.
I'm Pastor Erin Jones. I pastor the Hot Metal Bridge Faith Community on the south side. It is Presbyterian Church USA and United Methodist. I am ordained in the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America.
Let justice be served. Glory to God.
Amen. I am Deacon Veronica Edwards.
Okay, so at the press conference, there was loads of religious people that met up as well. I think what they're doing, they're just introducing themselves and introducing. As you can see by the pictures, you can see how he was shot. Okay, that's why I put it up, because I saw the pictures there. So because the guy, the autopsy man has spoken, and he said that how they're supposed to give him the original autopsy, which they haven't given him. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm definitely gonna add the GoFundMe or the sign, the things what you sign underneath the video. Okay, there's right. I think I put one on his video before, but I'm gonna put up the two. Okay, so that the family, because even if it's not sorted now, it'll be sorted. Right, this can be brought to justice sooner or later, but I think it all depends on the state, from my understanding, or like certain states have stand your ground. I can't remember how it's put, but there's certain states have stand your ground, and certain states you can use a gun on self-defense or whatever the case may be. But it does sound like he was really brought there to be slaughtered, right? Anyhow you look at it, any which way how you look at it, right? And even though hopefully they will get all the information, all the what they need, the justice what they need, because that's the most important thing that happens, because nobody wants to hear that their son has gone somewhere and been shot. Nobody. No mother wants to bury her son before before she goes. Right? And this is the circumstances in which he was shot as well is quite crazy to be in fact. The situation, he was the only black man there. All right, there was no other. There was just him. All right, so obviously this was a proper. Like I said, it seemed like it's a setup. It was a setup, and he was the prey. So I am just bringing this again forward. Like I said, this is the more information on his death. Sometimes it's best to show. I mean, normally I don't show the videos, but in this case, it has to be done so that people can get the realness of what happened to him. Because in the articles they give a overview of what happened. They don't give completely. It all depends on where you go. Because I'm in the UK, I can't reach all the stations. So the stations I can't see all the stations so that I can put it out there per se. Okay, and it's only because due to being in the UK. But as you can see from the videos we have seen, they're all okay. It's all the same. Everyone's singing from the same sheet. It is very, very suspicious. Something needs to be done. Okay, and I'm not going to be on here long. I just thought I'd bring this to the channel, to the subs. Please sign the GoFundMe petitions, whatever is put up, because this all helps the families. Okay, this is all important for the families. All right, it's not about getting props off of this. This is just for the families, because we would not want to be in that position. Nobody would ever want to be in that position where their son went somewhere, like I said, and then you hear he's died. Right? He called his mom and he gave her a hug or whatever, and it was just a normal day. So for her to get a phone call that he's shot and all this is something else, right? They will never get over that. Never, ever. And considering that how he had so much going for him as well, he came so that he can get money, so that he can help his mother with a restaurant. It's not like he was here to sit down and do nothing, and he worked before. So it's like, it's like being profiled. When you're outside, police are profiling somebody. They profiled him pretty well. He trusted the co-worker. I feel the co-worker had it in for him personally, but that's just my opinion. Because for them to do all that, that's so, and it does sound like something out of a movie. Information Man said it sounded like something out of a movie. It sounded like something out of a movie proper. Now, please, please, please sign the petitions and the GoFundMe. It's all needed. Even though they buried him already, but it doesn't matter. You can still sign the petitions. Even this is about more people. The more people hear this, the more people go sign the petitions. It's important because they need. His mother needs that to be her mind put at rest. Right? It's too much. To go see your son lying on a slab. They have his pictures of him lying on a slab, like with you don't want to remember your child like that, your family like that. Yeah, and it's not even like it's not natural causes. That's such an injustice. I mean, there are many others who has been killed by people of Caucasian and stuff, police wise. Tamir Rice was just playing with a toy gun. He got shut down for no reason. They didn't even go and check. They didn't even consider his age, whatever. They just killed him. They didn't think about it. This is similar, I would say, similar to that, or probably I can't even think of others because there's been so many of them. There's so many, and people talk about division. Now you can't think about division when it comes down to these things. These things is about everybody. It's not about whatever else everybody's looking at or whatever. Okay? This is important. It's important that people sign the petition. I will keep repeating the petition. Why I keep repeating the petition? Because petitions worked. I seen it work with the CPS when they took them children from that lady. It does work. Because plus they had to get extra people in too, so they can get their children. So this is what this family is doing. They're trying to get people to help them so they can get justice. So the mum can get justice for her son, and the family can get justice for their nephew or cousin or whatever. Okay, now I'm not going to be on here long because, I know my notifications take a while to get out there. If anything, please watch the replay before they tell me to cut the video because they will let me cut bits out, and the most important bits most probably will get cut out. I'm thinking, okay, so please it's not even about the likes really. Just do the petition. I'm gonna put the petition in the comment section as well. Okay, I'm gonna put them ones and the GoFundMe. Right, my thing is, right, if anybody is in the Pennsylvania area, right, and if you have more information about the law up there, whatever, I mean, even if you do a video, I would reach that video because I need to know a bit more because I'm not from the Americas. I'm from the Europe side. You could say, call it Europe. So I think Information Man did have something. I'm thinking I might have to put him out as well. I think it's Information Man. Somebody had more information on it, but this is how far they come so far. Okay, because some of those videos was 2 days ago, no, 2 weeks ago, 7 days ago. All right, so please do the petition. I can't stay on here long, because my daughter be up and down and whatever. Okay, so I would like to thank those who came through for this video, the ones who was about, listening in the clouds even. Thank you to Big Dog Philly, Truth Master Dre, Claire, Jaded Emperor, Tripsies, and Lady Legs. Hi, Lady Legs. All right, so I am going to come off now, and any video, anything that's cut out of this video, it goes straight to my Twitter anyway. I do have a Rumble, mind you, but it's like, I can't stream through to my Rumble quite yet. I haven't figured it out. So that I could put out, because there's a lot of videos that have a lot of information on this death. Okay? So please do the petitions. Please do the petitions. Okay? So with that said, I am going. So have a good day, a good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. Okay, stay safe out there, especially those in the, well, wherever there's black people, just stay safe, okay? Just be safe wherever you are, okay? Okay, that's all I wish for people right now. 'Cause I don't know, it's like out for blood now, right about now. I don't know what song, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not even gonna even go there. I'm not even gonna even put that into the atmosphere right now. But anyways, we see what's going on. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to come off. Have a good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. All right. Later. Bye.